This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder that Capital One Bank Guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also tell you about how Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One N.A., member FDIC. The springtime thaw is finally here. Flowers are blooming. Days are longer. We're saying yes to more plans and finally getting outside. Running, walking, just moving again. It's the perfect time to upgrade your everyday go-tos with Bombas. Take Bombas Sport Socks. They're super comfortable and designed with sport-specific tech for running, cycling, yoga, hiking, you name it. I use them to run in, and I can tell you they work beautifully. So head over to bombas.com and use code SYSK for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com, code SYSK at checkout.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. There's Charles W. Chucky Bryant, and there's Jerry, the delicious dish Roland. And this is Stuff You Should Know, the vintage nostalgia edition that went off to China and then got sold to a different company edition.
So do you want to, I have a rough list of classic toys we've covered. You want to hear it?
Oh, lay it on me, Charles.
I'm sure I've missed something, but it did help me think of some more that we should do. Slinky.
We did Slinky? Oh, yeah, we did Slinky. Okay, yeah.
Lego.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Barbie.
Sure.
Her boyfriend, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Sorry, Ken.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did we specifically do a G.I. Joe one or an action figures one?
I think both. We definitely did action figures, although maybe not.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll cross-check that. Hot Wheels.
So this is a made-up list, is what you're saying?
Hot Wheels. Easy.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't call it Hot Wheels.
Easy Bake Oven. Play-Doh. Silly Putty.
All right.
Do you count boomerangs?
Sure.
Do you count Monopoly?
Yeah.
Yo-yos.
Of course.
Hula hoops.
I knew hula hoops was after yo-yos. I just knew it.
Teddy Ruxpin, we covered him in our Christmas show this year.
Oh, yeah, that's a deep cut right there.
And then that's all I have, but I could have sworn we did it on Frisbees, but I cannot find it.
I feel like we did Frisbees too, because I think we talked about like Frolf or something at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's out there and I just didn't, or maybe it's under Flying Disc or something.
Oh, that's possible. Because, we made that joke about it, calling it a novelty flying disc because Frisbee used to sue everybody who called anything else a Frisbee.
Maybe. I'll have to look. But there's probably more out there, but that's a solid, 12 or 13.
That's pretty good.
Which leads us to Etch A Sketch.
Yes. One of the top 100 toys of the century, according to, I want to say, not the Toy Hall of Fame. It's just in the Toy Hall of Fame.
I think according to some snot-nosed kid who makes lists online.
Right. This is the 100 best toys of the century. This is the 100 best guitar solos of the 70s.
Oh, man, I'd love to do a show on that.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember who named who made that list, but it's a high honor. It's a high accolade, even if we can't remember who came up with it. Like the Etch A Sketch, it's a ubiquitous toy. Everybody knows what an Etch A Sketch is, unless you go to France, and then they'll say, "Oh, you mean l'écran magique?"
Right.
And you might say, well, why would they have anything to say about the Etch A Sketch in France? Turns out, buddy, the Etch A Sketch is actually French in origin. Did you know that before this?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Because it seems like super American. It looks like a TV and just feels like pure Americana. Mm-hmm. So when I realized it had some French stank on it, my dreams were dashed.
You're like, it smells like champagne and cheese, which is kind of pleasant.
No, I didn't really care. I thought it was great. Sketch, erase, and sketch again. The log line that will forever be tied to this really interesting little toy. And I can't remember who it is in this article, but they were interviewing different folks. I think it was someone from the company commented, and I totally agree that like it's amazing that today in the digital world and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and video gaming as it is, that this little lo-fi toy that doesn't even have batteries in it, much less hook up to the internet, is still like super popular and still has a little bit of mystique. And I agree with them. And I think the reason why, one of them is like, you look at it and you're still kind of like, how does this thing work?
Right. Well, we're going to ruin that mystique for everybody because we're going to explain how it works actually in this episode.
That's right.
But hopefully it won't affect Etch A Sketch sales because we love Etch A Sketch, you know?
All right. Should we go to France?
We will go to France. Sometime, it's apparently not clear whether it was 1955 or 1956, but in a little town called Vitry-sur-Seine, which means Vitry on the Seine River, there was a company called, what was the name of the company, Chuck?
L'Encrusta Company.
Right.
Terrible name.
It is a terrible name, but the reason they call themselves that is because L'Encrusta is a type of wall covering that was really popular in the 19th and early 20th centuries. You know, like, have you ever been into an old creepy abandoned house and like the walls are covered in what looks like dimpled tin with like some weird patterns to it or whatever?
No, but keep going.
Okay, so if you could rub your hand over it, it's very much, it's like heavily embossed.
Okay.
Sometimes it's painted, and just imagine that as like wainscoting in the house. That is L'Encrusta. And so that is one of the two things that this company made in the 50s, L'Encrusta wall coverings and artificial leather. That is really neither here nor there, but I was with you. I was like, what kind of a name is that for a company? I looked it up, and it'd basically be like if you and I called our podcast, because that's what we did, was make podcasts.
Or called it Podcrust.
Podcrusta.
Just the name Crust anyway. I think I know what you're talking about because I have, we have a pie safe that has that metal tin stuff, but it's I've never seen it on a wall, but I bet it's about the same thing.
Virtually the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that's L'Encrusta, and that's where this guy worked. His name was Andre Casagnes.
I bet
what
that
are you going with?
Well, if it's French, wouldn't it be Casson? Is that G pronounced?
Yeah, I think you just nailed it, actually. Andre Casson.
Well, that's what we're going to call him. And we have gone back in time. You didn't know 55 or 56. I say we go to 54 just to play it safe, set up shop in France, and maybe get some emails done.
All right. For a couple of years?
Sure. Why not? We could use a break.
Okay.
Because, podcaster burnout's a real thing.
It really is.
As we've talked about.
We're dropping like flies.
All right. So he's working in this factory. It's north of Paris. And they are making these wall coverings like you're talking about. And this is a little confusing how this actually happens, if you ask me.
Is.
Or at least the way the first article put it, it's confusing.
Oh, you're leaving it to me? I noticed by your pause after that.
Well, I mean, no, I'll start it, but I just still don't quite get it. He marked up with pencil on a see-through decal. So like he was putting on an electrical plate, like a light switch. And on that plate, like many things, has like a little see-through plastic that you peel off.
Right.
So he was writing on that. He peeled it off. But then that's where it loses me as to exactly what magic took place.
So, okay, remember this is L'Encrusta, and they make metal wall coverings, which means there's metal dust in the air, metal shavings everywhere.
Yeah, and he's just breathing that stuff in.
Right, all of them are. What's crazy is this guy made it to that ripe old age of 86 after breathing that for years. But so there's metal dust everywhere, including on this electrical switch plate that he's installing, and I guess the decal against the plate. And I think what happened was when he marked on the decal and pulled the decal off, he'd seen that he had disturbed the metal shavings that were stuck to the underside of the decal.
Oh.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he had disturbed the shape. So there was like the whole decal is coated in a metal dust.
Uh-huh.
He marks on it with a pencil, and the impression that he makes like gouges out lines on the backside of
See?
the decal. I know, it's really tough. It was magic. Basically, this man witnessed a feat of magic that still cannot be explained to this day, and that's where he got his idea for the Etch A Sketch.
Amazing. So a big moment. He has that literal light bulb that goes off of his, or not literal, of course, light bulb above his head. Although you never know. There may have been a light bulb in that factory right above his head.
Why not?
And he said, all right, this is this can be something. He, however, did not have a lot of money to sink into this weird idea. And so he had to partner with somebody with money, a man named Paul Chaze, Chaze, or maybe Chaz if he's French.
Oh, that's good.
And this guy had some dough because he owned a plastic injection molding company.
And this is like early on.
I wonder if we could count that as a toy. The little plastic machines that spit out little plastic guitars in Chicago and at zoos.
Oh, yes. Moldorama. That
Does
would
that
definitely count. Yeah, that goes on the list. Yeah.
So it wasn't Moldorama, but it was plastic injection molding that this guy made his money from. And this is where things get a little confusing historically because the man his accountant, his name was Arthur Grandjean. Yeah?
You are nailing the French today. Try to run, French people. You can't. Chuck is pronouncing your words just beautifully.
So his accountant is actually given credit a lot of times because he filed the patent under his name, which I'm curious about how that works legally.
He was, do you remember the first time we did South by Southwest? And on the sign, it had like somebody, I can't remember whose name it was, but whoever had like filed the application to get us into South by Southwest, it said that like that's who was performing in the room that day.
I don't remember that at all.
I think this is basically the same thing where as like the U.S. government bureaucracy, the patent and trademark office basically said whoever's name is on there, that is who is the patent holder. And since Grandjean, who was the accountant of Shays, who was the partner of Cassayand, since he was the one who actually filled out the application and paid for the application for the patent, as far as the government was concerned, he was the person who patented the Etch A Sketch in the United States. Even though Grandjean made no claim on it whatsoever, immediately transferred the title over to Shays. He's for decades, everybody thought Arthur Grandjean was the guy who invented the Etch A Sketch.
Interesting. All right, so that was July 23rd, 1959 was when this patent was granted. And I guess we should just look at the little guy itself, the little TV-looking, that iconic red frame with the two dials, which it didn't have initially. We'll get to that. But the underside of this screen here has what's known in the patent as a pole-virulent material, such as aluminum powder.
Is that French as well?
I don't know. And then to keep that from clumping up, there are little tiny plastic beads. And then the two knobs control, again, from the patent, a movable tracing stylus. Although initially it was a joystick, isn't that right?
Yeah, basically like an Atari, but it served the same purpose, and it was held together the same way through an intricate system of pulleys and gears that moved the stylus either upward or downward. And then if you combine the upward and downward together, you could make diagonals and circles and stuff like that. But it's really tough to describe what's going on in an Etch A Sketch. But there's a How Stuff Works article from years back called Inside an Etch A Sketch, where the people at How Stuff Works like took one apart and photographed it and explained it step by step. And it really becomes much simpler and ruins any bit of magic there is to it when you see inside an Etch A Sketch. But it's still kind of wondrous, like the engineer in you is like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it's not a negative image, I don't think, but what's going on when you're moving those knobs, there's a stylus that's actually removing, like the screen is coated with this powder. So it's actually removing powder, not adding something to the screen.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, if you want to get that away, and start a new picture, you just shake that thing up, and that recoats the screen once again with that powder.
Yeah. So like, you know how your TV screen always has tons of dust on it no matter how often you dust it?
Sure.
So that's because like that dust is attracted electrostatically through an electrical charge to the glass. They take advantage of that same thing with the underside of the Etch A Sketch and that aluminum dust, which sticks to everything. Like it wants to stick to the glass because I think it's missing some electrons or something. And then when you move the stylus through it, you're just removing that dust, like you said. It's not a negative; it's the removal of dust, and that's an Etch A Sketch, like at its core. And what's interesting, Chuck, is like that is how an Etch A Sketch today works. That's how an Etch A Sketch worked in 1962. Like or two meaning like also.
Sure.
But that dude, Andre Cassagne, said this is how this is going to work, and it's basically the same thing.
That's pretty awesome. Let's take a break.
Yes.
We're going to come back and talk about coming stateside right after this.
Hey everybody, we're here to talk to you about Wayfair, who believes that spaces should be functional, they should be comfortable, they should be well designed, and they can be well designed by you with their help.
Your updated space should feel more comfortable, inviting, and practical for everyday use. And we're talking about outdoor seating. We're talking about grills. We're talking about major appliances. If you need storage solutions, Wayfair can help you out. Patio lighting, rugs, decor. It is your one-stop shop for home.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting nice out, so it's time to think about living outdoors for the next few months. And Wayfair knows that outdoor furniture, it's heavy, it's intimidating to assemble. So Wayfair has stepped in and said, we're going to handle the hard part so you don't have to.
That's right. You can shop Wayfair Verified, your shortcut to the good stuff. And that means their team of product specialists are going to vet everything by hand using a 10-point inspection, testing things like, quality materials, functionality, and features, and even how long it takes to build that piece of furniture. And the overall experience save time, reduce hassle, and improved convenience.
Patio season is here, and these deals won't last. So head to wayfair.com right now to get your outdoor space ready for way less. That's WAYFAIR.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey everybody, we want to talk to you about The Big Bang Theory. That's a show that became one of the most defining sitcom of its era and really built a fan base around its memorable characters and unique group dynamic.
That's right, which is why we think you'll enjoy the official Big Bang Theory podcast. It's back, covering seasons 3 and 4 of the show. Host Jessica Radloff sits down with crew and cast members like Kunal Nair, who plays Raj, Mayim Bialik, who plays Amy, and Kevin Sussman, who plays Stuart.
That's right. You're going to learn all about the Easter eggs you may have missed, behind-the-scenes stories, and how certain real-life relationships shaped some of the most memorable storylines.
Yeah, there's cast reflections years after the series aired and expanded content around famous episodes and storylines. It is exactly what you're looking for if you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory. The season is on video, so watch the official Big Bang Theory podcast on HBO Max, or listen wherever you get your podcasts, and stream episodes of The Big Bang Theory on HBO Max. All right, so Chuck, how did we agree on his last name? I think I'm butchering it still, and I even took years of French in high school.
I think you said casserole.
All right, Andre Casserole. That seems wrong.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with Casson.
Okay, there you go. Andre Casson. He knew he was onto something. Like, this guy was an electrician who was like, this is a great idea. This is a prototype I made. This is worth something. So he and Cruz, I guess, funded a trip to the Nuremberg Toy Fair in 1959. And it was there that Casson was walking around saying, check this thing out. It is yours for a mere $100,000, which at the time was a lot of money. Or I think it was $870,000 today. And that's what this guy wanted for the right to produce this. And every toy maker at the place said no, including a little toy maker called Ohio Art. Everybody turned it down, and Casson went home from the toy fair empty-handed. But he didn't give up. He still persisted, but that was a big strikeout for him right out of the gate.
Yeah, so Ohio Art eventually settles on a number of $25,000 for the rights to make this thing. In the United States, it is still called L'Écran Magique. In France, because they had a different licensing deal over there from the get-go. And Ohio Art Company is pretty interesting. It started, did you see that thing I sent?
I did.
Yeah, they started out in 1908, founded by a man named, a dentist named Dr. Henry S. Winsler in Archibald, Ohio. He gets out of dentistry because he's like, hey man, toys is the future. Toys is the future.
There's no future in teeth. In a decade, no one in America is going to have teeth. It's just a losing trade to be in, is dentistry.
Yeah, so he saw the way forward. He rented a music hall, hired 15 women, and they were making metal picture frames at first to great success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they use something called metal lithography, which is a type of printing, and I think the metal refers to like the medium that you're using to print with, like like you carve a picture out of metal and you put ink on it and then you print on whatever you want. But they were printing onto metal. Like they had like these picture frames and pictures that were like a huge seller of a Cupid. It was a pair of like oval plates basically, but they were metal, printed pictures on them of like a Cupid hanging out and then the same Cupid sleeping. And it's just kind of like whatever. Like these days, it seems it's got a tinge of old-timey creepiness. But in the first half of the 20th century, there were 50 million sets of those things sold in the United States, which is an astounding amount. That's basically every house in America had a pair of this. And that really kind of made Ohio Art like a very viable business. But they eventually got into things like sand pails and little trucks and that kind of thing. Anything that was printed with metal before the time that plastic toys came along, they were into. So it wasn't a huge leap into the Etch A Sketch, but the Etch A Sketch was definitely different than anything that they'd ever kind of messed around with before.
Did you know I've done metal lithography?
No.
Yeah, it was one of our, in industrial arts, it was, at least at my school, each quarter you did a different medium or whatever. And lithography was something we did one quarter.
Do you remember what you printed?
I'm trying to remember what I printed. It's funny, I can remember that because we also, one quarter was screen printing. And I remember the T-shirts. I did monkeys T-shirts.
With like the see no evil, hear no evil monkeys?
No, the band, the Monkeys. Their logo with the guitar spelled out as monkeys.
Like,
So
wow,
nerdy.
did you draw it yourself?
No, of course not. But we did metal sheet lithography. I don't remember all of the process, but what I do remember was it essentially was like chemically burning images onto metal plates, and then that metal plate was used to print.
Okay. So the metal in metal lithography it talks about the metal press that you're using to print with.
Like at the end of, there may be different processes, but in my class we would do this thing and apply this like image with like this gel onto a metal sheet and use this combination of chemicals that would burn that into like make it part of the metal. And then all of a sudden you would have a metal sheet with a thing on it, like a negative image, and then you would use that in the printing process to print a positive image.
Right, and you could use that to print onto anything, including other metal, right?
Well, hey, man, that's where my knowledge... And again, this was ninth grade me, so I've forgotten a lot of things over that time period.
Right.
And I'm sure I just butchered that, but that's my one little dance with metal lithography.
Well, I'll tell you who would be able to tell us exactly how you could, how metal lithography works. It's anybody who works at Ohio Art, because not only was that their bread and butter before the Etch A Sketch, it still is today, actually. So Ohio Art, like, I guess, gets in touch with Andre Casson, and either he got in touch with them again or they got in touch with him. I think it was the latter of the two, and said, "Hey, we heard you're selling this for $100,000. It's way too rich for our blood. How about either 15,000 or 25,000, depending on who you ask in the future?" And Kassan is like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Just take the money." And so they either got it for 15,000 or 25,000, which is still substantial. I mean, it was like around 100K or 200K, something like that, depending on which one it was. And Kassan was quite a happy man. There was a story where the guy who was running the show at Ohio Art and his wife went over to meet Andre Kassan and just kind of have like an initial meeting and like shake his hand and all that and buy the license from him. And Kassan was like, welcome, and had like this huge spread of baguettes and champagne and everything at his house, which is pretty cute because he was just like this humble guy who came up with a really great idea for a toy and was finally like selling it for a wad of cash.
Interesting. A little on the nose.
So too. What, the baguettes and champagne?
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
Well, you win in France, right?
So he is, once he's on board with Ohio Art, he gets together with their chief engineer, Jerry Berger, and says, and Berger's like, "Listen here, Frenchie, you need to drop the joystick. It's all knobs these days." And he said, "What is a knob?" And he was like, "Well, let me show you." And he introduced the idea of the same system like you were talking about, but knobs instead of a joystick to move that little line, horizontal or vertical, or as you pointed out, if you're really talented, and you can master both at once, you can actually do, if you're really good, you can do very nice curved lines. But I'm not very
beyond
good at it.
rudimentary.
Yeah.
No, neither am I. I can make a line go up and a line go to the left or right.
Yeah, we'll get to
I can't even make it go down.
We'll get to the art of it, maybe at the end, but because there are some serious artists out there doing some cool stuff. But at any rate, Etch A Sketch, it was rebranded as Etch A Sketch in the United States. Ohio Art's producing them for the 1960 holiday season, and they sold about 600,000 of these that year, which is that's a lot.
Yeah, and they sold it for a lot of money too. They went for sale at $2.99 a piece, which is $25.64 in today's money. Yeah. But I mean, if you go buy an Etch A Sketch today, it's between $10 and $15. So that was a lot of money, especially to sell 600,000 of these things. Especially if you were selling like creepy, metal wastebaskets with an unsettling clown painted on it or printed on it, like right before this. This is a huge. It was a good move by the people at Ohio Art to buy the license to this thing. In other words, and they say, Chuck, that it coincided really perfectly with television, so much so that they believe like that is one of the reasons why Jerry Berger was like, you need knobs. This thing needs to look like a TV set because that's what's all the rage with the kids right now. Yeah,
and he it was one of the first toys to actually do a TV commercial. And so if it's 1960 and you're a child watching, first of all, your mind is blown because you're watching a television to begin with.
It's just like, I can't believe this. I can't believe what's going on right now.
Then a TV commercial comes on for a toy, and this toy has animation in it to where like they would Etch A Sketch a little rocket ship, and then that rocket ship would animate and take off. And this was like, these kids might have, keep in mind, kids in 1960 were idiots, but they might as well have been dosed with LSD.
They just kept fainting over and over again throughout the commercial because they could not believe what they were seeing.
Mind's blown.
And it's just an Etch A Sketch,
Yeah, but it's genius. I love it.
It is, but it really, I think the point was, though, that like taking advantage of the novelty of TV and also now having a way, like we just tried to explain an Etch A Sketch over a podcast. Prior to TV, if the Etch A Sketch had come out during like the Little Orphan Annie radio era, they would have had to have done the same thing. It wouldn't have landed quite as well. The fact that a kid could see this happening on their TV screen was pretty awesome. And then also to say, and then you just shake it, turn it upside down and shake it, and coat the glass screen again, and your drawing is gone forever. like to be able to see that, TV made the Etch A Sketch what it was, like for sure. It definitely ushered it into a position where it could become like a cultural icon of nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, they perfected it by the time they started rolling off in 1960. Prior to that, like any product like this, there was a lot of R&D. One of the people who worked there talked about the mountain of red frames behind the factory while they were trying to get it right. And it was such a huge smash hit out of the gate that, as legend has it, they were manufacturing up until noon on Christmas Eve just to get them to the West Coast in time for Christmas morning.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, they really wanted those kids to have those Etch A Sketches. They really wanted that money.
Should we take another break?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about some ways Etch A Sketch has ebbed and flowed in popularity in pop culture over the years. Right after this.
Hey everybody, we want to talk to you about The Big Bang Theory. That's a show that became one of the most defining sitcom of its era and really built a fan base around its memorable characters and unique group dynamic.
That's right, which is why we think you'll enjoy the official Big Bang Theory podcast. It's back, covering seasons 3 and 4 of the show. Host Jessica Radloff sits down with crew and cast members like Kunal Nair, who plays Raj, Mayim Bialik, who plays Amy, and Kevin Sussman, who plays Stuart.
That's right, you're going to learn all about the Easter eggs you may have missed, behind-the-scenes stories, and how certain real-life relationships shaped some of the most memorable storylines.
Yeah, there's cast reflections years after the series aired and expanded content around famous episodes and storylines. It is exactly what you're looking for if you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory. The season is on video, so watch the official Big Bang Theory podcast on HBO Max, or listen wherever you get your podcasts, and stream episodes of The Big Bang Theory on HBO Max. The springtime thaw is finally here. Flowers are blooming, days are longer. We're saying yes to more plans and finally getting outside, running, walking, just moving again. It's the perfect time to upgrade your everyday go-tos with Bombas. Take Bombas sports socks. They're super comfortable and designed with sport-specific tech for running, cycling, yoga, hiking, you name it. I use them to run in, and I can tell you they work beautifully. So head over to bombas.com and use code SYSK for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com, code SYSK at checkout. Chuck, I don't know if we said it or not, but from what I've seen, more than 175 million Etch A Sketches have been sold since 1960.
And we should point out, we're not just like ticking off a list of pop culture references.
Right.
Like every time this happened, Etch A Sketch sales would go up.
Yeah, like the Mitt Romney one increased sales like 30%. I guess everybody was like, oh, Etch A Sketch, I forgot about that. I think I'll go buy one right now.
Well, they actually branded after that Republican and Democrat Etch A Sketches, though, didn't they?
Yeah, so you could buy a red one or a blue one, but both of them came with a sticker, which I'm assuming that they printed on their metal lithography presses, of a donkey and an elephant like playing tug-of-war on the front of the White House lawn.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
It is, but it's also, that's smart, you know? That's how you make the money.
And then, of course, in the movie Toy Story from Pixar, there was like one of the characters' name was Etch, and had the fastest knobs in the West.
Yeah,
and that was always a very fun character, I think, to see him drawing things out really fast to communicate.
Yeah, and you said something earlier. You were talking about how, like, despite the fact that it doesn't even have batteries, it's had this staying power for 50-something years, almost 60 years. It's been around. And it's a really simple thing that the design hasn't changed. And I think even more of a testimony to, the staying power of the Etch A Sketch is the fact that they have tried stuff with batteries and like things that connect to your computer over the years, and nothing has managed to improve on the original Etch A Sketch. Like do you remember the Etch A Sketch animator?
No.
So I couldn't quite place it either, but I went and watched an old ad. It was big in the 80s, and it was basically like an Etch A Sketch, but there was nothing mechanical about it. It was digital. You're creating like a bitmap digital picture, and then you'd press like, I guess, play or something like that, and it would just kind of run it like a flip book over and over again. So your Etch A Sketch drawing like came to life. But kids were like, nah, I'd rather have the original Etch A Sketch, because the Etch A Sketch animator went away, and the Etch A Sketch is still available today.
Yeah, I mean, there have been other variations. They had the Doodle Sketch, the plug and play. Which this sounds like a bad idea. Plug and play allows you to draw on the TV screen. That's just asking for trouble as a parent.
Sure.
And then the mobile app, which I've been playing with today.
Oh, how's it going?
Well, I mean, what do you think of this picture?
Oh, that's not bad. It looks kind of Etch-A-Sketchy, you know?
Yeah, so what you can do is, it's kind of fun. You can upload or take a photo on your smartphone, plug it into the app, and then it will instantly etchify it. And what I've learned is that it's the more basic, like a picture of your face works much better than something with a lot of stuff in the background. But it's fun.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like it.
I was reading reviews of the app. I didn't try it myself like you, but it's it did say, like, if it's a basic picture, it'll look way more Etch-A-Sketchy.
Yeah, so my official review is, not bad.
So 3 stars out of 6?
Sure. I mean, for something that downloaded in 30 seconds and was free,
right,
I'm going to give it a half a thumb up.
There you go. So one of the things that has kind of kept Etch-A-Sketch alive for like the younger kids, if I read this article about Etch-A-Sketch, and it was right before they sold. So a lot of people don't know Ohio Art doesn't make Etch-A-Sketch anymore. They sold it to a brand called Spin Master.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's not Ohio Art. Ohio Art said, we're going back to metal lithography, and that's what they did. So they sold Etch-A-Sketch off to Spin Master. Spin Master is like, that's fine with us, baby. Thanks for all these licenses. I mean, an Etch-A-Sketch, a frozen branded Etch-A-Sketch it might as well just be like a printing press for money, right?
Yeah.
So it was probably a pretty good buy for Spin Master. And Ohio Art was like, this thing it was great. It was a good run while it lasted, but they also had to oversee it through some really dark times because, well, for one thing, like Etch-A-Sketch isn't landing with the millennials, I get the impression, like it used to with the baby boomers. That was one thing. And Ohio Art also almost went bankrupt because of it back in like 2001. They managed to get some more money back into the business and stay afloat. But part of that also was they had to send the manufacturing of the Etch-A-Sketch off to China, which they were really unhappy about because they lost like 35 jobs in tiny little Bryan, Ohio. But eventually, like 15 years later, they said, you know what? We're getting out of the Etch-A-Sketch business and sold it off to Spin Master.
Which is a weird name.
But the one of the things, it's a little weird. Ohio Art's a little weird too. You don't associate Ohio with art, you know? Oh,
uh-oh.
You just don't. I'll say it again.
Tell that to Chrissy Hind and the Black Keys.
No, Chrissy Hind gets what I'm saying for sure. So one of the things though that is keeping Etch-A-Sketch relevant, the reason why, like if you walk up to like a 17-year-old and say, what do you think about Etch-A-Sketch? They say, oh yeah, I've heard of that. Because every once in a while you'll see on the internets a photo or two of somebody who is really, really good at Etch-A-Sketch. And it just kind of makes the rounds on social media.
Yeah, I mean, everything from like the Mona Lisa to just like portraits of people to landscapes. What's really fun is you can go on YouTube and look at time-lapse renderings, Etch-A-Sketch renderings, which when you're seeing it done super fast like that, you kind of think like, I feel like I could do that, but you really have to be a master with those knobs. Like what I found is the thing you really need to master to do everything that you want to do is being able to retrace well, because as everyone knows, it's not like a pencil. You can't pick it up off the paper and start somewhere else.
Right.
You have to, if you want to go somewhere else, you have to retrace as closely to that original line as you can all the way back to that point that you want to be at. Or else it's just going to look like something that I did, which looks like something a toddler did.
Yeah, and I mean, like it's a really good point. When you're making a good Etch-A-Sketch drawing, it is all one single line. It's frequently doubled back over, and Etch-A-Sketch artists will use like that frame. They'll create a line frame around the edges that they can travel back out to and move around the picture like that.
pretty brilliant.
Yeah, there's a guy named George Vlasic III who's known for some pretty amazing portraits of Muhammad Ali, Barack Obama, LeBron James. There's an artist named Jane Labovich, or Labovich maybe. She calls herself Princess Etch A Sketch. She's done some amazing like architectural detail with it. And then there's a guy named Ryan Burton who does erotic Simpsons art.
There you go.
With the Etch A Sketch. And all three of them are like really good at the Etch A Sketch drawings.
Yeah, the fanfic of Etch A Sketch artists. Interesting.
And then apparently when you're very satisfied with your Etch A Sketch and you don't want anything to happen to it, you drill a hole in the back and get the aluminum powder out, and then you lock the knobs to keep them from being turned. Then you have an Etch A Sketch masterpiece that you can hang in a museum.
Oh, so that makes it permanent?
Yeah.
So when when a kid comes in the museum and rips it off the wall and shakes it, nothing happens?
No. And I think by law you're allowed to pick up that kid and shake it.
Yes, I think so. As long as it's not a baby. Don't shake a baby.
Right, no, never shake a baby. Come on.
Yeah.
I would never advocate shaking a baby, everybody. I just want to go on record as saying that.
There was, the comedian Nate Bargatze?
No.
He's great. He's got a very funny bit about shaking babies.
Oh, yeah?
Believe it or not.
It takes a lot to turn that into something funny.
Yeah, he did it, man.
Good for him. Nate Bargatze, huh?
Nate Bargatze, dude. You would love him. He's great.
So Nate Bargatze just became a cultural icon because we did not see him coming up in this episode.
That's right.
Well, if you want to know more about Nate Bargatze, you should go check him out on the internet like I'm going to. And since I said Nate Bargatze, it's time for listener mail.
Man, I hope someone tells Nate we're plugging him.
Plugging away.
Plugging Nate. All right, here. I'm going to mention, this is about Jerry and her eating. And this is from Kim Cooper. Did you see this, Jerry? She says no. Hey, guys, I noticed that you often mention what Jerry is eating a lot during the podcast.
A lot.
I don't know how close she is to your microphones. Well, I'll go ahead and say that from your side over there, she's about 5 feet.
All I have to do is lean in my seat a little bit, and I can touch Jerry's miso soup.
That's right. You could dip your thumb in her soup.
And sometimes I threaten to.
I don't know how close she is to your microphones, but I never hear her eating, which is good for your fans with misophonia. But I'm curious why she chooses this time to eat. Do you guys spend all day podcasting and that's the only time she can fit it in? No. Silly question that popped into my head listening to this week after Josh said, and there's Jerry eating God knows what. Anyway, guys, she's got me interested in trying miso. Tell her she's doing a great job because I don't know, because I know she doesn't get too many shout outs. And Josh and Chuck, you guys are pretty great too.
Thanks.
That is from Kim Cooper.
Thanks, Kim. That's funny. She went all the way around to just basically say, I guess what I'm trying to say is I've always wanted to try miso.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, go try some miso, Kim. I mean, you can buy it at like any grocery store. Just go get a tub of it. Get a big old spoon. Try your first spoonful and go from there. Do you ever eat just miso paste?
No.
It's good. If you're craving something salty and savory and umami, let's just say, it's good. But you can't eat very much of it. I'm just teasing Kim. Like a spoonful is a lot of miso paste.
Okay. What do you just add that to? Is it an ingredient?
Yeah, for like soups,
miso soup,
stuff like that. Yeah, but you can just eat the paste.
Okay.
And live to tell about it. I'm proof. Well, if you want to get in touch with us to talk about Jerry, we're always fine with that. You can go to stuffyoushouldknow.com, find out all of our social links, and you can always send us an email. Attention, everybody, we have a new email address.
Wowie, wow.
Wowoo. It is stuffpodcast@iHeartPodcastNetwork.com.
How about that?
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com.
Imagine never buying gas again. Well, you can with an electric vehicle. EVs are easy to charge as your phone and perfect for everyday life. You can drive daily with confidence everywhere you go. Most Americans drive just 40 miles a day, and most EVs are equipped with 200 to 400 miles of range. Plus, they've got fewer parts, they require fewer repairs, and they produce fewer headaches. And with all those pluses, it's no surprise that we're seeing more and more EVs on the road, which makes the planet happier and happier. The way forward is electric. You can learn more about EVs at electricforall.org.
Brought to you by the Spam brand. I'm about to drop some sizzling hot knowledge, everybody. Did you know there's a blue can loved around the world with festivals dedicated to it? That's right, it's Spam Classic. The cultural icon went from fueling the world in the 1930s to earning its own museum. And today there are 12 mouth-watering varieties like teriyaki and Korean barbecue flavored, plus the original Spam Classic, ready to fry up in your favorite dish. Fans everywhere, keep sizzling it up, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Spam brand, sizzle pork, and Learn more at spam.com.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.